Hi, thanks for tuning in to this drop-in meditation. Especially thank you to those who are able to be here on our Zoom call. And I just love hearing the wisdom from folks as we chat before the recording. It's really helpful for me and for all of us, I think. So there's a new grand puppy in our family, our first grand puppy. I love me some puppy. And this little ball of fluff joy is his name's Johnny Dynamite. And I just met him yesterday because I was away for his first week here. And so he's only been here in the house, in the apartment downstairs, for a week. And I was, yeah. And so some of you may remember what it's like with babies or puppy babies. I don't know, kittens are probably the same or worse with the energy and the getting into everything and whatever. So lots of any youngin, any young being that's coming into the world and finding its way may have these qualities, but certainly it's showing up with this puppy of he's really settled in quite well with lots of feeling safe and connected and playing and joy, but it's like so new place, new people, everything's new, everything, new outdoors, new smells, just wildly. I can't even imagine what it's like to come into the world with all the senses awake like that and just be so fully taking it all in, you know. I think human babies, they're not quite as like running around, booting around, getting into everything right away, you know. And this little fellow is. And but what we noticed with them, like our daughter was really, well, he was biting a lot, which I think is natural, puppy teeth thing. But also he would be playing for quite a while. He's very happy. And then he would kind of do these, we called them screams. Like it sounded like he was in pain, like these shrieks, really like sharp shrieks. And then he would just boot around super fast. It was kind of odd. It's like, oh, is he hurt? What's going on? Anyways, we realized, like, she's a millennial, researching and watching all the videos and everything, and figured out he's actually overstimulated, not getting enough sleep for his little system. It was, too much newness, not enough time to settle down, to calm down, to regulate. And so then, they started to implement more naps and more quiet and more calm. And today he's like very regulated. He hasn't had any freakouts at all today. May that continue. But it really got me thinking about lots of folks I know, all of us at some time, and all of us a lot of the time, also need to be parenting ourselves in this way of regulating our nervous system. Now, I am totally not a somatic therapist, so there's like so much you can learn. I highly recommend somatic therapy and to really learn more of these skills. There's so many tools that you can use to calm your nervous system when it gets We're all stressed. We're all, different degrees of anxiety and worry, fear, overwhelm, overstimulation. Absolutely. Um, and are we paying attention to that? Do we notice, like, is there another someone else being aware, like with this puppy, seeing like, oh wow, something's going on here, what's needed? And we have to do that for ourselves, right? Unless we have dear ones with us that can say, honey, you need to go for a walk, or what do you need? But most of us, we need to do this for ourselves. And so in the community here in this Zoom call, we were sharing some of our reflections of what helps us to regulate when we're overstimulated, when our nervous system is overactive. And there's tons of awesome wisdom here. So I'll share some of it with you. The first one is breathe. And this is an interesting one because obviously we're all breathing because we're here conscious, alive. So we're breathing. But what does it mean to point out breathe? It means be mindful of breath, be aware of breathing. Check out what's happening with your breath. Is it shallow breath? Is it deep, up in the chest? Is it a panicky breath? So when we say breathe, it means breathe deeply, long exhaling, softening the belly, paying attention to that rhythm of breath, letting that wave of breath with our attention riding on it like a feather, allowing that breath to calm us with awareness. And then we have music. Music is, oh my gosh, music is such a beautiful gift. To sing, to play an instrument, to listen to music, to dance to music, to do any sort of mindful movement to music calms and soothes the savage beast. And walking, especially in the woods. So both of these, moving the body, exercising, but especially just being in nature, whether you're walking, standing, sitting, laying down, being in nature. We know big sky, air, earth, the elements, deep medicine. And then running. So sometimes we need to expel that excess energy. For some systems, it's helpful to, do something more active to kind of release some of the energy. And so it could be something, more physical like that, like more, yeah. I'm thinking about boxing right now, actually. It's like really releasing some energy. And so running or something more vigorous like that, where you're intentionally releasing energy. And that segues nicely into a good night's sleep. So this is such an important one, good night's sleep. And it's such a challenge for so many people. So many people come to beginning meditation classes because they have trouble sleeping. And there's a lot of wonderful tools. It should be a paid promotion, but I have this wonderful sleep headphones that are like a fleecy headband. It's wide and soft, and then the earbuds are just flat, soft, like they don't go in your ear. They're in this fleecy thing, so you can lie on your side and everything. And then listen to sleep stories and sleep music because I share a room with a snorer. Thank you very much. And so there's lots of great tools to help us regulate the system and calm down, getting a good sleep. And this wisdom of when we are activated and triggered and in that adrenal response, fight or flight, freeze, fawn, is to remind ourselves not to believe the story or the panic. And we talked a bit more about this, to just reminding ourselves of, how do we do that when we're in it, right? When we're already in it, in a loop of I am this, or it is like this, it's going to be like this, it's always been this way. We see that proliferation from past into future, catastrophizing. In the Dharma, it's called papancha. And so it's very hard to remind ourselves to not believe this story when we're in it. And so one of the wise teachers here in the group was saying how they remind themselves, I am not these thoughts. And this, someone else was sharing, that because we know what's happened before. It's not like this is the first time my mind has gotten into a loop or a groove. And I'm like, so we can start to see, wait a minute, the last 300 times this happened, it wasn't true. It wasn't true. I'm not the worst person. The worst thing didn't happen. I did survive. I am okay. I am loved, etc. So reflecting on the past, checking it out. And so then we can just make a new groove, make a new skillful groove for ourselves, that I am not these thoughts. Love this one. Turn off the news. In the Dharma, we would call this protecting the sense doors. It's considered very skillful to be mindful of what sources we're taking in, and is it helpful? So, we're not going to, we are householders, we're here in this daily life. We're not trying to cut ourselves off from the world, but really, how many times a day do I need to hear that same news? Or, how many times a week? And there's lots of ways to protect the sense doors that are very skillful. Remind yourself, that it wasn't true in the past. Slow down and create space. Again, this is something, life has so much momentum, so much habituation of the delusion of multitasking, and that we can be doing something almost the same speed, but in our attention, we slow down. So it's not necessarily that we need to always walk. We could walk a little more slowly and eat more slowly and speak more slowly, all of these things, but it doesn't have to be slow motion, but our attention can slow down. So even when we need to do something that we think we need to be doing it quickly, if our awareness is slow, that creates a space. So it doesn't feel all compressed and packed together, that push, that adrenaline, just to be doing the same task you're doing, probably around the same pace, but your attention has slowed it down and created the space. And all of these beautiful things of drawing. And so we were talking about other things like knitting, playing music, creating music, and all these things that are mildly challenging but calming at the same time, and how these get us into what we would call the flow, or the zone, it's sometimes referred to. And as the group here was sharing, what is that really? What does that mean when we say we're in the flow or in the zone? It really has these qualities of this, mirrors the qualities of the 7 factors of awakening. There's mindfulness, there's curiosity, it's something that's engaging and interesting. And this brings energy, which helps us to sustain it, to stay with it for a little while or quite a while. And then there's this quality of joy that comes from that, not an effervescent joy or exuberant joy, but easeful, happy, peaceful, calm joy, which is the next factor. Joy becomes calm. And this leads to concentration, which is what we call the zone or flow, where we're just just this one thing. And as someone else described, everything, time flies and you don't realize it. Everything else just moves into the background and it's just this one thing. And then concentration becomes equanimity. So it's all there. And that exemplifies being present and connected. Yeah. Losing track of time and totally absorbed. And some wise person put meditation in this chat about, yes, it was me. And yeah, cool. I'll check that out. Thank you. Some stuff about the importance of sleep and research on sleep. Maybe we'll do that next week. Napping class. Yeah, so what we're going to really focus on, like all of this, and there's just lots of ways. And we all know them, don't we? But do we do it? There's the rub. We all know what our system needs. We know how good it is to get outside, to make space, to slow down, to meditate. And I know some of us are doing some of these things some of the time or often. A lot of us know, and we maybe aren't doing it. Because of grooves, some habits, and it takes a lot of intention to create a new skillful habit. And this is why the goddess invented Post-it notes to remind you, hey, I wanted to do that. Slow down. I actually have put I get these yellow circular stickers and I make the pause symbol on it, like record is a circle and stop is a square and pause is these two lines. So I've drawn pause symbol on it and then I just stick them in my car, on my phone, in the kitchen. And I actually put my thumb on it like it's a button. I know it's a bit nerdy, but it works. And just press that pause button. I also, in my car, I put stop sign stickers in my car so that when I see a stop sign, check it out. How many times do you actually do a full stop? Not so much. And so every time I see a stop sign, it's an opportunity. Full stop. It's annoying for the people behind you, but maybe they will also enjoy a full stop to fully stop the car. So there's no momentum. And then go. So there's lots of ways to remind ourselves of these skillful things. And some of the ones that, of course, are highlighted for us tonight are progressive relaxation, which we'll be practicing in our meditation tonight. And meditation practice is, of course, a way to regulate our nervous system and engage the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and relaxation response. And perhaps this could become a hobby. There's a thought. So a hobby is an activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure. How many of us think of meditation like a chore? Like, I should meditate. I know I should meditate. Why aren't I meditating? It's like, what if meditating was a hobby? Because we know hobbies are skillful, part of engaging. So what if that is something pleasurable that I do in my leisure time that's not a chore? It's like, it could actually be pleasurable to sit down, lay down, do standing meditation, walking meditation, being with your breath. So pleasurable. A new hobby. Deep abdominal breathing from the diaphragm is another thing that we'll practice in our meditation tonight. We can also focus on a word or a soothing sound like calm or peace. So sometimes in our meditation practice, we use like metta phrases or compassion phrases. May I be at ease. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be well. And so that could just become a word like ease, peace. And another thing related to mindfulness is shattering the illusion. I used to really actually think I was good at multitasking. I took some pride in it. I actually used to think I was good at multitasking and that was a thing until I really paid attention and realized I'm not multitasking. I'm just being pretty crappy at a lot of stuff. Bit of this, bit of that, bit of this, bit of that. But actually all these, it's not multitasking. It's like, I'm doing this thing, now I'm doing this thing, now I'm doing this thing, now I'm doing it's actually one thing at a time. And so just do one thing. When you're eating, are you also on your phone? Are you also watching TV or listening to the radio? When you're eating, just eat. When you're listening to someone, just listen without formulating your response. When you're driving, how many times are you eating while you're driving, listening to the radio while you're driving, ruminating about where you're going or where you left? When you're driving, just drive. The primary sense door with driving is seeing, of course. So just be with seeing. Yeah, of course, all the chores. When you're doing that, can you just do dishes? Can you just fold laundry? Just this one thing. Of course, that's mindfulness 101. All right, let's do it. Let's practice our new hobby. Meditation should be called a hobby. It just lightens it up a lot. All right, so find a comfortable position if you want to dim your lights or lay down or stand up or do some walking, depending on what your energy is, what your nervous system needs. So we're really practicing how to regulate and calm our nervous system tonight. So take some time if you want to turn away from the computer, adjust your lighting, get really comfortable. This is the Dharma of puppies meditation class tonight. So here we could start protecting the sense doors by resting our eyes. You could rest your eyes downward or closed or onto something beautiful in your space. Remembering that deep abdominal breathing is helpful. If you're wearing like a button-up pants that are tight, you might want to loosen that so that you can let the belly really soften, so that these inner muscles of the belly could start to just some degree. For some people, this is very hard to soften the belly. So to whatever degree you can, the inner layers of the belly that are activated, inviting some softening there. Not holding ourselves in, making ourselves smaller or tighter for anybody. Soft belly. This is something that we have to remind ourselves over and over again. Soften the belly. And we're going to start here just by this progressive relaxation. Thinking of the top of your head and imagining, feeling, visualizing, and allowing your forehead to become wide, smooth. And all the little muscles of the eyes beginning to rest. And as the upper portion of the face begins to relax, it signals to the lower portion of the face that it's safe, it's okay. The lower bones of the jaw could feel heavy. The lips softly together. The sides of the neck lengthen as the shoulders naturally drop into their weight, the weight of the bones. The heaviness of the shoulder bones slide down towards the elbows, which are underneath the shoulders, and all the way down into relaxed hands in whatever position feels comfortable for you. How much tension is there in the fingers? Can the hands know that there's nothing they need to do, nothing they need to push or pull, get rid of, or grasp right now? And as we breathe into the area of the heart center and the belly center, we feel movement here, inviting release and ease. And as the whole upper body relaxes, we can now feel more weightedness through the lower half of the body. Or if you're laying down, the back of the body. Like an hourglass that's been tipped over, and that sand is of awareness is gently filling the legs and feet and pelvis. Grounded and relaxed. And then there may be a word that feels helpful for you as we just rest here for a few more moments. Perhaps ease, calm, or peace. And in the times of silence, we might notice the habit of the mind picks up again and says, yeah, but check this out. And what about this? And here we remind ourselves just one thing. Right now, we're just doing this. Just feeling the body in this posture, relax, finding ease, cultivating ease. And if in this time for you, you find you are caught in thoughts of who you are and how it's going to be and how it's always been, remembering the wisdom of this group, reminding us, I am not these thoughts. And we have a choice what we want to cultivate right now. We remind ourselves, calm, feels like this. Now, as we've cultivated some relaxation and calm in the body and in the mind beginning to settle with the body, now we'll let ourselves cultivate a little more steadiness by resting on the breath as much as you're able, perhaps in the belly tonight. So to feel the breath in the belly, we need to have a soft belly. And that might be hard for you. You might not be able to feel much movement there, but it's a practice. Just check it out. Some find it helpful to place a hand on the belly. That's what I'm doing. What if it was possible to be in the zone or in the flow with just this breath, this body, mindful, interested, energized, gentle, joy, happiness, calm, some beginning concentration and equanimity, steadiness with everything coming and going. And we'll be quiet now for a few more minutes. And when the mind picks up into other thoughts, really gently, as if you're training a puppy, beginning again. Just this. Another helpful touch point can be to ask ourselves, which part of the breath is most calming for me right now? The inhale, the exhale, the space, the turn of the breath. Check that out for the next couple moments. Which part of the breath is most calming? And in this last minute, creating an embodied memory for yourself. If you noticed a part of the breath that is most calming for you, as a touch point, so that through the day, as you need this regulating, soothing, calming, you can attune to that part of the breath. And in a moment, I'll ring the bell 3 times. And take your time with the transition, allowing it to be slow and calm as you gently end your practice. So congratulations on starting your new hobby, meditation. Thanks for joining us for practice here on the YouTube channel. And also want to share, someone shared in a note here in the chat that I think is really interesting to for those of us that want to check this out a bit more, about some sleep research. What is sleep? Why do we need sleep? And how to improve our sleep. It's on Sam Harris's podcast called Waking Up. So I'll look for that, and I'll also link it in the YouTube down below. So check that out. That sounds, I haven't seen it myself yet or listened, but it sounds like an excellent resource. So thanks for sharing that. And to this awesome wisdom harvest from the group here, thank you all for sharing your teachings with all of us tonight.